Hello, folks, and welcome back to twitch.tv/games with Nick. Today is Thursday. We don't have to make up on the upcoming stream, so we're just gonna have a good time and continue playing through 999. 9 hours, 9 person, $9. The story so far is we are prisoners of, we believe, a sister ship of the Titanic. We have bombs in our intestines, and a madman is menacing to have the bombs explode unless we follow his rules. Two people are dead already. A creepy ass guy that tried to cheat at the very beginning and have died for it. And also a blind guy that seemed pretty cool and we talked to. His corpse we just found in the shower that we just went through. Also, we completely screwed three people by forcing our way through one of these numbered doors. So we'll see what comeuppance will come from that. Let's go ahead and continue. We left it off that we had just finished another escape room. Outside of the shower room was a hallway that extended off to the left and right.
There's a large iron door at the end.
Let's take a look.
They'd moved a few steps towards the door when Junpei heard the sound of metal on metal.
Huh?
They turned around. Seven was doing something to the door of the shower room.
What are you doing, Seven?
Well, I figure maybe we might want to come back here sometime. So, I stuck the broom in there to keep the door from shutting. Alright, let's go.
With that, he stood up and began walking down the hallway. He brushed past Junpei and kept going. After a moment, the rest of them followed him. Before long, they found themselves at a large iron door. They had only been there for a moment when June spoke up.
Jumpy, look!
He turned. There, on the right side of the hallway, was a piece of paper attached to the wall.
What's up?
What's that on the wall there?
Oh, I think it's...
Junpei ran over and peeled it off.
a map of the ship's interior?
It says sea deck.
Oh, that is bad news. So the door we went through, if these are all the beds, was this door. We cleared the shower area, and we might be back in the hospital room.
So it's the map for this floor, then. We'll have time to study it later. Let's keep going for now.
Junpei folded the map and stuffed it in his pocket. Back at the door, the four of them lined up in front of it. Santa stepped forward. He grabbed hold of the door and then turned to look back at the rest of them.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
They nodded. Santa nodded back and threw the door open. All four of them leapt through.
What the?
You're shitting me.
It took only a moment for them to realize where they were.
We're back.
They had been there only a short time ago. Bam, bam. Oh, I'm so in trouble. It was the large hospital room filled with countless beds. Lotus and Clover looked up as they entered. Ace was there as well, although he looked as though he had only just woken up.
Clover! Lotus! And Ace! I'm glad you're all okay. Lotus? What are you...
The moment they spotted Junpei, Lotus and Clover headed straight for him. As she neared him, Lotus drew back her hand and slapped him open-palmed across his face.
How could you do this to us?
Her face was furious. She grabbed Junpei by the collar and shook him violently. Clover didn't touch him, but the hate in her eyes was no less potent. It was Seven who stopped them.
Knock it off! We got bigger shit to worry about right now.
His deep voice echoed across the massive room. Lotus glared at Seven, but let Junpei go after one last vicious shake.
What?
Go have a look. I stuck the screwdriver in the door. That door over there, the one without a number. So long as the screwdriver's there, it can't shut, so you can get in there. There's a shower room past there. I stuck a broom at the door there too. Anyway, go take a look.
Then you're saying we can go in there without passing through the numbered door?
Yeah, it's about the size of it.
Wait, what the hell is in there?
You'll know when you see it.
Fine, let's go.
Lotus and Clover looked at one another for a moment, then none of them stepped through the door. No, that's a terrible idea. The dead guy we found in the shower is Clover's brother, so that's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. By then, Ace had made his way to them, moving with the stiff, shuffling steps of someone who had only just awoken from a lengthy slumber.
My goodness. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head weakly.
Should I go as well?
Yeah.
Seven nodded.
Very well.
Ace followed Lotus and Clover with a stiff, tired gait. A squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time, it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the resin fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the Ninth Man was.
Seven lowered his voice, like to an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei at 7. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each one of them in turn and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it, alone, and waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in. Snake was the only one who went through the door. And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah, that means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah, that means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
No, in fact, 2 of us.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes. Almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question.
Junpei didn't really consider that.
If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Was Zero still on the ship with them? I'm not sure. He wasn't sure.
Something's still strange.
Hmm? What was that?
Well, I'm just wondering about one thing.
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on this ship?
Ace's eyebrows shot up.
Really, Junpei? I confess I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp. Isn't it obvious?
Wait, it is?
This ship.
Huh?
Zero said, "this ship," several times when he addressed us. If he weren't here, he wouldn't say this ship, would he?
That's a very, very loose argument for that. He could have recorded those things while he was on the ship and then just played the recordings.
He'd be saying something like, "that ship," or "the ship."
I mean, is that linguistic all the proof you have, Ace? Really?
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
No, Junpei. No, it's very circumstantial. Ace's explanation made perfect sense. Junpei felt a little foolish that he hadn't seen it himself. I don't know, I'm not sold, I gotta be honest. Still, he was left with a question and it was one of no small importance.
If Zero's on the ship, where is he?
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning and noise. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. It looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was cold and monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? Was he one of them? Well, I guess that's possible, right? Everything's rigged to be remote.
Well, that's possible.
Huh?
Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us.
What are you saying, Jumpy? Didn't you hear what Ace said?
Exactly. I said we shouldn't suspect one another for no reason.
No reason. I've got a great reason.
And what's that?
The bracelets.
He held out his left arm.
Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets? You're all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control if someone did something they weren't supposed to. It would be a lot more precise and a lot easier. But if that's the case, then why is the bomb set off by the detonator in the bracelet?
Huh. You got a point.
I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the Nonary game. All of the puzzles here run all by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them for the game to move forward. Why's that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that?
Junpei let the question hang in the air and looked at the others. It was Santa who answered.
So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us. If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of all of us or control anything remotely. That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
Seven, when we were talking earlier, you said any one of us could be Snake's killer, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Alright then. I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right?
Yes, something like that. I can't think of any other explanation.
So what do we get if we combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this. Whoever killed Snake is Zero. Hence, Zero is one of us. Seven and Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well. At least they do if Zero is one of us.
No one spoke. Their faces were grim, but Junpei wasn't sure if they believed him or not. Finally, Lotus spoke up.
What were his motives?
His motives?
Yes, isn't that pretty important? Why would Zero want to hide as one of us?
Oh, well, that's because,
Junpei choked. He hadn't thought of that, and yet, to be honest with himself, he had no idea.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed.
Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei.
In other words, you only had circumstantial evidence.
Well, so did you. Like, this ship? Oh yeah, this means he's on the board. Come on.
I don't really think that's enough to go on, you know?
Ah,
Junpei was painfully aware of their eyes on him, and their disapproval. He tried to find something else, anything else, to look at. Then, in that horrible silence, they heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move now. Seven, Clover, Junpei, I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
you're right, but
Junpei couldn't bring himself to respond. He swallowed the words he wanted to say and sighed. Seven and Clover remained similarly silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going.
our next destination is Mercury. Here we go.
They stood in front of the elevators next to the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen. Between the two elevators was a card reader with a Mercury symbol engraved on it. Junpei stood in front of it with the Mercury keycard.
Oh, that's the...
Yeah, I found it in the shower room.
Oh, I see. It's got the Mercury symbol.
He took a deep breath and slid the card through the reader. It made a small beep and the lights on the reader blinked to life.
Now we can go.
7 people, including Junpei, climbed onto the elevator.
Looks like there's only 2 floor buttons working.
C and bottom.
The rest were destroyed or did nothing when pushed.
Time to head down then.
Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly they began to move downward. Sometime later, all 7 of them stepped off the elevator onto the bottom deck. They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end. But not a regular dead end.
This is a numbered door.
Yeah, it's door 2.
Immediately they began to discuss who would go through it.
So who should go through the door this time?
We don't need to be discussing who we're leaving behind this time, right?
Right. It's set up so we'll be able to meet up again once we get through the numbered doors.
Then there's no need for arguments at this point.
We should figure out who's going in first.
Very well. Would anyone like to volunteer?
I'll do it.
The first to speak up was 7.
I'll go too.
And I suppose I need to go too then.
Junpei followed suit, which meant Lotus was, by default, the third member. 5 plus 7 plus 8, 20, 2 plus 0, 2.
Alright, we're taking off.
Okay, please be careful.
Jesus. You 2 are acting like you're married, you know that?
Oh,
June blushed. So did Junpei.
Don't be silly. Cut it out.
Perhaps in an attempt to hide his emotions, he quickly turned away to pull the lever on the right. The door opened. As they'd come to expect, there appeared to be a short hallway on the other side.
Alright, let's go.
Lotus was the first through the door.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
7 was next, and Junpei brought up the rear.
Where the hell is it this time?
I don't see it!
Oh, there it is! It's right there!
Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead. It had been placed just inside the room right next to the numbered door. They gathered around it and quickly scanned each of their purses.
It stopped.
Yeah, it stopped.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. Seven and Lotus were breathing hard and fast.
Man, I'll never get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
Damn right.
All right.
Junpei looked around again.
This hallway's pretty short, but it's got 5 doors. 3 on the left, and only 1 on the right.
Don't forget the last one at the end of the hall.
But it's got a metal plate over it, so I doubt we're gonna get anywhere that way.
After taking a look around the room himself, Seven spoke.
Alright, let's get started. I think we'd probably better split up. You two okay with that?
Yes, no problem.
Sure thing.
Then I'll take this first one.
Seven nodded to them and stepped into the room closest to him.
I'll try the one next to it.
At last, Junpei was left alone.
Well, I guess I'd better get started too.
He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. I don't remember this particular escape room. Oh, it's this one. What the hell is this supposed to be? Like a drawing of a whirlpool or something. Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's trying to look like water. There's a towel stuck in the drain. There's an old towel in the drain. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to pull it out of there. I'll have to use our heads on this one. Alright, let's figure this thing out. Huh? The symbol on the toilet lid. Huh. Seems a little fishy to me. It's a sun symbol, but it doesn't look like the ones on the door. Damn, the stone's pretty nasty to begin with, but the inside's even worse. Honestly, I'm amazed you could bring yourself to touch it. Huh. There's way nastier stuff out there in the world than a gross toilet. You're a real deep thinker, aren't you? Toilet paper tube, huh? Seriously, I'm gonna need this for anything. But I'll take it. Well, this part is thinner than the rest. In fact, this doesn't really look like it's part of the rest of this thing. This thread feels loose. Maybe if I give it a couple turns. Here we go. Ooh, we got a screwdriver shaft. Hey, this handle's pretty loose. Loose? You think it'll come off if you pull on it? Fell off. Huh, look at that. That handle doesn't really fit on the string. Maybe it wasn't meant to be attached to it. Oh, I think I got lucky with the toilet paper thing. If I just stick this metal rod into the handle... Blam, a screwdriver. There's a dirty blanket on the bed. Man, this is a mess. It's not even a bed anymore. Instead, I want to sleep there. This thing's really simple. Is it really a desk? Well, of course it's gotta be simple. I mean, it's probably like that so we don't try and use it as part of the puzzle, right? You probably use a desk to write letters to your family or something, but this is a boat. I'll bet the only thing they used this was eating off of. Huh? What the hell? It's not opening. There's something up in this drawer. I don't trust it. What? Can I? Ah, there we go. Sweet, got screws off. Now we can open the drawer. No. There's nothing in here. Well, maybe the drawer is what we need. The drawer, huh? Alright, let's change the thing out. There's a bump in the back. I wonder what it's for. Maybe there's a hole somewhere and these bumps line up and trigger a hidden switch or something. Hey, we've seen weirder stuff. Doesn't seem that far-fetched. Alright, let's go into room number 2. So these sinks, they're on opposite sides of the wall, right? No, it's not just the sinks. Everything's opposite, like a mirror image. So, that's not normal. That's normal if you're both using the same water pipes, right? Somebody made some weird blue lines on the mirror with blue paint. Is that a drawing of a blue scarf? No, maybe not. There's no knob on this faucet. There's no way we can get water out of it like this. If we can find a knob or something that'll work as well, then we should be able to get water to come out of this thing. Maybe if I... Oh, wait, actually. There's nothing in the drawer. Yeah, something's not right, though. The handle on the drawer doesn't really fit, you know? It just looks messy. Why don't you take it out? If I use the screwdriver on the screw in the center of the handle, maybe I can... Yeah, we got a knob. Sounded like something falling. What was that? I heard it too. Let's open the drawer. Hey! Got a towel that says 14 on it. Alright, now that we have a handle, or a knob. Sweet, the handle I got off the drawer fits on the faucet perfectly. Now I can turn the water on. Junpei, what are you doing? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm running the water. I can see that. I'm asking why you're just letting it run like that. Think about it, Lotus. This faucet didn't have a knob when we found it, right? What do you mean? Just watch. Anytime now. Hey, water's filling up! Doesn't that just mean the pipes are clogged? Whoops, let's turn it off for now. So did anything change? Water stopped flowing. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. Ugh, Junpei. I'm leaving this one to you, alright? Paper seems to be pretty old. Ew, how the hell can you touch that? It's horrible. Well, it's not like I've really got a choice, do I? It's not like I want to. Just hanging from the wall. Well, if we're pulling the strings, then it must be a toilet that flushes. It's the moon. Oh, we got a towel. Hey! Got another towel that says 14. Junpei put the wet towel into his pocket. He was about to turn away when there was a noise behind him.
What the?
He spun around to see Seven kneeling on the floor. His face was rigid and pale. Droplets of sweat covered his forehead.
Hey, what's going on? Are you okay, man? You're sweating like crazy. Are you all right?
He was concerned. He'd never seen Seven like this before. Slowly, the other man lifted himself to his feet on shaky legs.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little dizzy, that's all.
His face was pale and his breathing was heavy. Blood was pouring off his face and staining his shirt.
That's definitely more than just a little dizzy. Are you sure? You don't look so good.
Seven didn't answer. Half of his face was twisted as if distorted by extreme pain, and his eyes were glazed. Finally, he spoke.
What am I doing here?
Huh?
Words made no sense.
What are you talking about? We opened the number 2 door and walked in here. Don't tell me you forgot.
No, that's not what I mean.
He shook his head several times as if trying to clear something from it.
It ain't much, but I think some of my memories came back. I think I've been here before.
Huh?
I said I've been in this room before.
You were here? When? Why?
Aoi. Light. Nona.
Suddenly, Seven was mumbling to himself. There were words Junpei didn't understand. Seven's hoarse voice trailed off, and Junpei couldn't make out what he'd said.
What the hell was that?
Seven's brow furrowed furiously as he ground his teeth back and forth.
It's right there. I feel like I'm this close to remembering everything, but I just can't.
Seven stopped, frustrated. He pulled his hat off and ran a hand through his hair. Then suddenly he looked up, his eyes wide.
That's right, an experiment. There was some kind of experiment going on this ship.
An experiment? What sort of experiment?
They were trying to control people, or something like that.
What the hell are you talking about?
Junpei didn't know what to make of Seven's story. Instead, he simply stared as Seven continued.
Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were in the experiment, I mean. I think there were 4 or 5 more, but I don't remember all their names. Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm here.
Seven began to mumble to himself and wander aimlessly about the room. He looked confused. So far as Junpei could tell, the man was simply rambling, and there were odd twitches to his movements.
Experiment. Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Those kidnapped kids. Was I working that case?
Seven continued to mumble to himself about things that meant nothing to Junpei.
Huh?
Junpei didn't have any answers for him, of course. He couldn't understand what was happening to Seven. All he could do was wait. After a few minutes, Seven finally stopped.
Wait, under this bed.
He crouched down and looked under the bed. His face registered mild surprise, then he began to mumble to himself again.
The home's gone? No, maybe it was a different room. There's gotta be a ton of rooms on this boat that look just like this one.
At last, Junpei could contain himself no longer.
Hey, what exactly do you remember? Maybe you could stop talking like a crazy person and tell me what's going on here.
Seven stood up slowly.
Well, it's not like I really remember everything. I've only got bits and pieces, and they're scattered and don't make much sense.
I don't care. Tell me the bits and pieces then.
Junpei could feel it. Whatever Seven had remembered was important. Very important.
Okay.
Seven drew a large muscle hand down across his face. As he wiped the sweat from his brow, he spoke.
From what I can remember, I think I was a cop.
A cop?
Yeah. I was looking for that group of kids that got kidnapped 9 years ago. You remember that, right? It was all over the news.
Yeah, I was still in school. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some of it. I think it was a bunch of kids right around my age. They all just disappeared. Nobody knew why.
Missing. Where have these 16 boys and girls disappeared to?
It was all over TV and the newspapers every day. So you're saying you were investigating it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I guess I found something. There was this medical company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals that had something to do with those kids. After I figured that out, I managed to get some information out of somebody who worked for them. I think it was...
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
Yeah, that had to been it. That's why I went to the wharf. In the shadows, I searched the harbor until I found the ship he was talking about. There was a bunch of movement near it. Men in black suits, many of them were carrying large bags. The bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried. No doubt about it. There were human beings in those bags. I moved before I realized it. I came out of hiding, my gun already in my hand. Don't move. I felt metal touch the back of my head. Drop the gun. He kept digging the cold metal thing into my skull.
Somebody got
There
busted.
was nothing I could do. Did what he said and laid my gun on the ground. Then suddenly, there was a sharp pain in my neck. A needle. A drug? That was my last thought. My face hit cold concrete. I was out like a light after that. I woke up on a hard floor. Damn it. Shit, my head hurts. Where am I? A small, shabby bed, a dirty sink, a toilet with no privacy. I'd seen it countless times as a cop. I'm in a cell, huh? Facing the toilet was a door set into the wall. I was still pretty woozy, but I made my way over to it. I pushed and pulled on it, but... it won't open. Not like I expected much else. Would be dumb enough to put me in a cell and leave it unlocked. Threw myself against
Somebody
the door
would
a
be
few
really
times,
dumb
but
if
it
that
wouldn't
happened.
budge.
That's true.
I knew it. I gave up and made my way back to the bed and sat down. I sat there for a very, very long time. Who knows how long. Then, I heard a faint voice. The voice was far away. I couldn't understand what it was saying, but I could hear one. It was pretty high, probably a little kid. Huh? No, it was several. I hear 5, or 6, maybe more. Where? Where? I pressed my ear to the wall and tried to listen through it. No, that's not it. Left. It's coming from under the bed? I hauled on the metal frame and flipped the thing over.
Strength.
There it was. The bed had hidden an air vent under it. The hole in the wall was covered by a metal grate. I dropped flat on the floor and peered through the grate. I couldn't see shit. But I knew it in my gut. This was where those voices were coming from. Hold up. Why are there kids here?
And were
Then
not the
inside
kids what
toilet
you were
popped
following?
into my head.
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Am I on that ship? Didn't matter. All I knew was I had to get to those kids. I checked out the metal grate. Could I fit? I stuck my fingers in and grabbed it. And then... Yeah! How do you like that, you son of a bitch?
Somebody's very
I
strong.
finally got the damn thing off. Sweat was dripping down my face, so I wiped it off.
I'm sorry, you crawled inside? You don't fit. What are we doing? Are you Bruce Willis or some shit? Junpei waited for Seven to resume the story. The longer he waited, however, the clearer it became that Seven had no intention of doing so. He had gone silent and simply stared off into the air, his eyes blank.
Hey, what happened after that?
He'd waited long enough, but Seven shook his head.
I don't remember what happens after that. I think I found some kind of door out of the duct. And I think I found some kids, too. Not good. Why can't I remember what happened next?
Ah, man, what happened to the kids, Seven? Did you save them?
I don't know. I don't know if it was me. I've got this feeling. I think one of the kids died. A girl, I think.
Huh?
Deep in his heart, Junpei felt something very cool. Seven's head dropped, and Junpei saw on it a look of sadness, the likes of which he had never seen on the man before. The large man's eyes blinked rapidly, as if he were fighting back tears, and he swallowed hard. The sigh was like the melancholy setting of an old abandoned building. He shook his head and spoke.
Anyway, just please don't ask me anymore, okay? I really don't remember anything else.
After that, Junpei could hardly try to force any answers out of the other men.
It's fine. Don't push yourself. Going by what he said?
Junpei left Seven to pull himself together and instead began thinking everything over.
The children who had been kidnapped 9 years before? Apparently a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals had been behind it all. They'd taken the children to the same ship we're on now. They'd been brought here for an experiment. Seven said it had something to do with controlling human beings. The 16 children who had been kidnapped were the subjects. Seven had said 3 of their names were Aoi, Light, and Nona. I think that's all I got. Oh, and Seven is, or was at some point, a cop. I can't really use any of this information anyway. I didn't learn anything about the Nonary game or Zero. Why were we brought to the same ship where they'd done those experiments 9 years ago? And just what the heck is this about controlling human beings? That's nuts. Did they really conduct an experiment like that?
Before long, Junpei realized he had spent quite some time deep in thought.
I don't have time to just stand here thinking. I need to get moving.
Junpei shook his head quickly to clear it and returned to his investigation, thoughts swirling in his mind. Alright, so there was a long intermezzo. Oh, I guess oh. There maybe... Oh, hey, there's a mirror. That's a mirror on the back of the drawer. Maybe it's some sort of secret magic mirror. Like, maybe my reflection will be real hot. That's supposed to be a joke. Laugh all you want, kid. Just keep in mind that your face ain't gonna be normal again afterwards. Okay. So this leaves the last room. Ooh. Oh yeah, we could probably use this mirror to reflect the light. Now I just gotta figure out where to reflect the light. Maybe if I go somewhere that's a little easier to shine light on. If I shine the light on the mirror in the back, I get it. If I shine the light on the mirror, symbols appear. The left side as a sun and the right the moon symbol. I'm gonna remember this. If I shine the light on the mirror in the back, is that a number? So if I shine the light on this mirror, then I get to see some numbers. 4 and 7. I can see a 4 on the left and a 7 on the right. 4 and 7. Nothing special about the stone paper. I really don't think I need to bother shining any light on it. It's the same, but there's no light shining on it. It's hard to be sure because it's so dark here, so I don't think there's anything going wrong with this thing. The faucet is too hard to turn. So it's bright enough to see by. I feel like I'm gonna see a ghost here or something. It's a blanket. Not really a great one, but still. Ah! God damn it. No matter how hard I pulled on this damn thing, it won't budge. Guess he won't be opening this anytime soon. It doesn't look like it's got a keyhole and there doesn't seem to be anything stopping it. How the hell am I supposed to open it? This desk is old and rusty. There's a door in the back. I wonder where it goes. I thought of that and I tried a couple things, but yeah, same result. Guess 7 wasn't about to do anything. Oh well. Tiles we found and tiles here are the same size. When I touched the tiles on the door, I felt something weird. Huh? I can move these tiles. And that means... maybe if you swap the tiles we got with the tiles on the wall, something will happen. I suppose now we just need to figure out what the strange designs on this tiles mean. At any rate, we should look for all tiles that are the same size. You're right. Alright, let's meet back here after we've done a thorough search. We're missing something. Mirror's a river in it. If it's indicated to sink, then... Oh, I guess the towel's just telling you to do the mirror thingy. Sun, Moon, 4, 7. Sun 4, Moon 7. But what can I... Oh! Oh! The only thing can manipulate in the stream is that string. Chances are they made this puzzle so somebody wouldn't trigger it by accident. 2, 3, 4. Did you just hear something? I did, but it doesn't look like anything's happened here. Huh. Wonder what that sound was. Okay, and 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's that sound again. It happens whenever I pull the string a couple times. Junpei, did you hear something from the other room? The other room? You mean from the dark room? Yeah! Dope. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Hell yeah. Well, the drawer opens easily enough. I still see 14 on this tile. Probably have everything we need now. Okay. Well, it looks like we've investigated all the rooms. The only mystery left is that door. Alright, let's crack that mystery then. We've got 4 tiles, and there are a bunch of tiles that are the same size up on the wall here. If we replace 4 of the tiles on the wall with the ones we've got, that should open the door. Well, there's only one way to find out. I mean, there's 4 E's, so why don't we do that? I don't know what the 14 means, but... Hey, did you hear something unlock? Does that mean we got it right? Yes, it looks like we did. The 14 hidden on the tile. If you convert that to hexadecimal, it's an E. Of course, hex! Basically, the E's in emergence are the 14s from the tiles. If we replace it, that gives us the answer. Do you really care why it worked? Let's just get out of here. Thank you for that, because I had not considered hexadecimals, to be perfectly honest. I guess that shows that I'm not a programmer. Or an old programmer, at least. He passed through the open door and headed to the next room. Junpei jumped down the short staircase and looked around.
Oh, what the hell is this place?
The words had sprung unbidden to his lips, but it was clear why. Junpei shivered. Lotus and Seven reached the bottom of the stairs and stopped short, terrified.
Ooh, this room is really creepy.
Yeah, it looks like an
Get the
electric
hell out of
chair.
here now.
He checked up the stairs on the opposite side of the room and shook the door on the wall next to the catwalk. It didn't open, and he muttered to himself.
Figures.
It's locked, isn't it?
Yep. Don't know why I thought this would be any different.
So, what is this room for, anyway?
Junpei looked around the room again.
Well, there's a chair in the center of the room.
Oh, looks uncomfortable to say the least. I'd rather not sit in it if I can avoid it.
The back of it was covered with electrodes connected to a nest of wires.
Looks like it's placed over some kind of glass panel. Too dark to look through it, though.
Junpei turned to look at the right side of the room. There was a table cover with a piece of cloth.
This isn't dried blood on the tablecloth, is it?
On top of the table were a number of metal instruments. Junpei didn't know what they were for, and he had a feeling he didn't want to find out.
Oh, what the hell is this? What are these tools for?
That's not something I even want to think about.
Junpei shook his head in an attempt to clear it, and tried to focus on something else.
No doubt about it. This room's dangerous. Let's make our search quick so we can solve the puzzle and get the hell out of here. Come on.
One of the rare double escape rooms in a row. Torture room. It's a lovely name. There are a number of ominous-looking tools and instruments here. Let's see. We've got an adze and a hammer, a pair of forceps, and these other things are too old and broken. I have no idea what they are. Hey, doesn't this wrench look way too new to be here with all this other stuff? Yes, it does. I didn't notice it before you mentioned it, but it's not rusty at all. Alright, we got a wrench. Cover's bolted on there pretty good. Should be able to get this bolt off with this wrench we just found, though. Sweet, it's open. The hole's too small, you can't see in even with the cover off. Well, you can see in, but I think there's enough room to stick your arm in. Are you sure you want to do that? There could be something dangerous in there. Okay, I admit, that scares me a little, but we need to see if there's anything useful in there. Alright, here we go. Arm in the hole. Hey, I think I can feel something. Small, cold, and hard. Doesn't feel like there's anything else in here. Alright, let's see what this thing is. Oh! Well, hello. There's something on the screen. This device will conduct the experiment. Once the experiment has been completed, the door will unlock. First, adjust the switches to match the block and sample above. Oh, I don't know what this thing is, but we gotta figure out this puzzle. It's right next to the torture chair. Whatever it is, I don't think it's good. Anyway, we just adjust the switches to match the blocks up on top, right? Adjust the switches shown in the four corners of the screen and press the check button. You can always come back to it later, there are lots of other things you could do. Yeah, we definitely don't have what we need. These levers have got to turn something on. Of course they would. All they can do is turn something on or off. What's important is what they turn on or off. Let's say the floor is going to suddenly open up. I can see some oil or something down there at the base of the lever. Yeah, it feels like it's got some movement to it. I should be able to pull this one. Alright, let's pull the lever. Is that water? What the hell? What's going on? Let me calm down. It's just water going somewhere. Feels like it's underneath us. That means the floor... Oh! Junpei, look! What's she... Oh, damn. I can see through the glass now. EDDF. Is that a shark? There are a couple of letters in color of blood written on the shark's belly. It's dead. Looks like the letters are E, B, B, and F. Whatever these are to be... Yeah, no, I know what these are for. E... No. E... B... B... F. What? There's a strange noise coming from the chair. It looks like it's been turned on. I guess the puzzle here was the power to be sent in a specific way. That's the entrance. Oh, they have to match this thing. Why do they call it hint? And not just model. Adjustment is completed. Now proceeding to execution phase. To complete the experiment, data must be collected from subject. Once preparation is finished, place subject in chair. Whoa, I thought we solved the puzzle already. What does it mean by preparation? I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think this means one of us is gonna sit in the chair. Well, 7's never going to fit in that thing. It's either you or me, Junpei. Collecting data. I wonder if it's going to run electricity through the subject. There's a human head on the screen. Maybe it's gonna zap the brain with a little electricity. This really doesn't sound safe. But anyway, we still got to prepare. We can talk about this after we figure out what it means by preparation, alright? Well, it wants us to prepare something, we gotta ask it what we need to do. Subject is not properly placed, select the restraining device, and then reseat subject. The sun key should fit in the keyhole of these manifolds. Alright. Alright. The restraining device is unlocked. Reseat subject and device. The message on the screen was disturbingly detached.
Well, like we thought, it's not going to work unless someone sits in it.
How ironic that this would be the situation in which this slim, beautiful body is useful.
Lotus, are you sure? I can sit in it and you can solve.
Junpei's right. If we screw it up...
7 couldn't bring himself to finish this thought. His eyes fell to the floor. Junpei followed them. Beneath them was a dead shark floating underneath the glass. Perhaps it had been killed by an electric shock.
I'll be fine. Even if I fall in, the shark is already dead.
But...
No one likes an indecisive man, Junpei. I can still give you advice from the chair too, you know. I just don't want to stay in this room any longer than we have to. Go over to that screen and let's get this over with.
After her words, I made it clear that Lotus would book no argument. She turned and walked towards the chair without hesitation. But she did not sit down. Despite what she had said, she did indeed feel hesitation. Her legs shook.
Look, do you think you could do me one last favor?
Don't say last.
You're making me nervous.
Just listen. If something happens to me, I want you to tell my daughters. Tell them that I loved them very much.
Aww.
No, tell them that I will always love them.
Daughters?
You've got kids?
Yes, I do. I suppose they're about your age, Junpei. They're twins. I had them when I was young after... well, some things happened. Their names are Nona and...
Wait.
Nona?
Junpei's words shut out before he even realized what he was saying. He remembered the story 7 had told him.
Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were in the experiment.
But what the hell? What's wrong with you?
Lotus took a step back from Junpei.
Oh.
7 looked just as shocked as Junpei. He blinked his eyes rapidly, as if he weren't sure if he was completely awake.
No way, it couldn't. Lotus, is your last name Kashiwabara?
Lotus's eyes went wide.
How do you know that?
Are you serious? What the hell is this? There's no way you're that kid's mom.
That kid? Wait, what do you mean that kid? Why are you acting like you've met her?
7's brow furrowed.
I have.
What?
Yeah, I met one of your kids.
When?
9 years ago.
Where?
On this ship.
Why were you...
It's not a short story.
Look, I don't care how long it is. Tell me, please, what happened here?
Fine, I'll tell you.
7 glanced at Junpei, then turned back to Lotus and began to speak. It was the same story Junpei had heard only minutes before. Every detail.
But... And then, that was when... From there, it looked like... Just as if, finally... That's all I remember from 9 years ago.
At last, Seven finished. Lotus shook her head.
Oh my god. Everything I've been looking for the last 9 years. The person who had all the answers was right here.
Looking for?
Yes, that's right. 9 years ago, my daughters disappeared. Then 9 days later, they came back. They never told me what happened to them over those 9 days. I took them to the doctor, but I was told they hadn't been hurt in any way. Still, I was sure that they had been through something terrible. So I couldn't bring myself to force them to talk about it. If I did, then I'd force them to relive whatever horrors they'd been through. I didn't have any choice. I had to try and ignore it and move on.
Oh.
A few months passed. Gradually, they started to act like they always had, before they disappeared. They smiled and made jokes and did all the silly things kids do. It got harder and harder for me to ask them about what happened. How could I ask them to remember that? Eventually, I knew there was no way I could do it. But I'm still a mother. I couldn't simply forget that something terrible had happened to my children.
I gotta say, I haven't commented on it today yet, but the design of Lotus can be very distracting. It's like, you gotta, it must have been fucking terrible. And then her boobs are just hanging out like that. And it's just like, okay.
So I decided I would investigate what happened on my own. I would find out what happened during those 9 missing days.
What did you find out?
Nothing. The police pretended to be concerned, but they didn't do anything. Once the 16 children who'd gone missing came back, things were just... Even the media didn't talk about what had happened. I figured someone was probably paying or threatening them to keep their mouths shut.
Cradle Pharmaceuticals. No, probably something even bigger than that.
Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Have you heard of them before?
No. It's the first time I've ever heard that name. 7. How did you find out that Cradle Pharmaceuticals was connected to the kidnappings in the first place?
I figured finding out whatever the victims had in common would lead me to the culprit. That's what any good cop does.
What did they have in common?
Every single one of the kids who disappeared had gone to this one hospital at some point. The hospital was one of a bunch that were under the control of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. After that, it was just about connecting the dots.
The hospital.
The hospital?
And for a while, I was trying to get some kind of information out of the kids at the hospital. One of them told a weird story.
What was it?
Have you heard about the Gansfeld experiment? I guess all these kids had to go through it while they were at the hospital. I think it was passed off as some sort of counseling.
What did you call it again?
Oh, the Gansfeld experiment. This is how it's set up.
So things are gonna get weird. But bear with us. It's pretty cool at the end of the day.
First, subjects Q and A are put into separate rooms, far away from one another. Then a series of video images are shown to subject Q, who is told to send the images to subject A by thinking about them. Subject A, on the other hand, is put in a large reclining chair and given a blindfold. With their senses cut off, A is asked to guess what images Q is looking at.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that. It's a famous telepathy experiment, isn't it?
Telepathy. That's how the experiment on this ship was supposed to work.
The experiment to control people, right?
Yeah. I don't know if any of the telepathy stuff really exists, but maybe someone from Cradle Pharmaceuticals bought into it.
Lotus grunted. Seven had been thinking hard for the last several minutes and finally spoke.
Even if that is the case, I still don't get how that has anything to do with any of this. The notary game, Zero, why we were kidnapped. What does any of that have to do with telepathy? I know I brought all this up, but I have no idea. Maybe none of this stuff is connected after all.
I don't know, it's too good of a coincidence for these two people to be connected. Then that moment of silence. A cold voice echoed down from the ceiling.
No subject has been detected. Unless a subject is detected within 60 seconds, all power will be shut down. System recovery is estimated to take 1 hour. If you wish to proceed with the experiment, please seat subject in the restraining device.
Whoa, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm going.
Oh, no, that's not what we...
Just hurry up and get it over with. Junpei, I'm counting on you.
Right.
Lotus sat down on the chair. Junpei looked at her one last time and made his way to the monitor.
Lotus, please, tell me right away if you feel anything weird.
You worry too much. Now get on with it and be a man, or June's gonna leave you.
Wow. Lotus was putting on the best act she could manage, but her legs were shaking so much that if she hadn't been sitting, she likely would have fallen down.
Lotus.
Failure was not acceptable.
Okay, let's do this.
Junpei took one last deep breath and stared at the monitor. Okay, so that is actually too much. And yet I'm missing some of those here. Like, all of these should be active. Like, am I missing a direction? I don't think so. Oh, that's why. Yeah, we're still missing one on this side. But we have too many on this side. No, we're still... Does having it turned off, does that increase these? No. Alright, we need to be more methodical about this thing. We're sort of wasting time here. So, top left on is 2 top left, 2 bottom right. 2 top left, 2 top right, 1 bottom left. Two top left, 1 bottom, 1... No, 2 top right, 1 bottom right. 1, 1. And just 1 bottom right. Well, let me just cancel it. This does... We'll probably need this because we need the most. We have too many in the bottom right, so we should move this to... And I think this might do it. Yeah! Alright. Just need to be a little methodical instead of clicking things at random. The experiment has concluded. The door will now unlock. I can hear a door unlocking, but now we've got a new message. Release subject from restraining device. Lotus, are you alright? Yes, I am. I'm glad nothing bad happened, but I do think my life just got a little shorter. Hold on, I'll get you out right away. Shouldn't take long for Seven and me to get right up here. Let's get out of here now. Being a guinea pig is not for me. Damn straight. I don't ever want to see this thing again. Alright. And heading up.
The hallway goes to the left.
Yeah, but I don't see any doors.
Guess we just need to keep going.
Right. Let's go.
They turned left twice before they saw the elevator.
An elevator.
Just what we need. Let's take this to C-Deck.
I don't think we can use it. In silence, they jacked up to it. Junpei pushed the C button. The elevator motor ground away, and before long they found themselves once again on C-Deck. The door opened and they stepped off.
Huh?
They'd expected to find 4 other people waiting for them. There were none.
No one's here.
Where did they go?
I have no idea.
Lotus shrugged. Something in the pit of Junpei's stomach stirred.
Hmm.
He tried to forget the feeling, and it took off down the long hallway before him.
Hey, Junpei!
We should follow him.
Seven and Lotus followed at a run. They ran and ran and ran. The hallway seemed endless.
I know where we need to go. The door behind the central staircase. There was a sun symbol on the keyhole of that door. And I happen to have the sun key in my pocket right now. This should open that door.
That was why they ran for the central staircase. They had run for quite some time when they arrived at the door that ended the hallway. Junpei stopped.
All right, time to open this.
He laid his hand on the doorknob, his breathing heavy. Seven laid a hand on his arm.
Hold on a sec there.
Huh?
We don't have the key for this one yet, right?
Oh, yeah, no, we don't. There is the Jupiter symbol engraved over the keyhole.
That's...
Oh, it's the Jupiter symbol.
Seven was right. They had no Jupiter key.
Then we can't open this door.
Unfortunately, no, we can't.
Jeez, the sun door's gotta be just on the other side of this, you know? We can't just stop...
Frustrated, he twisted the doorknob. Oh, the door opened.
Hey, it opened.
What?
And the others must have found the Jupiter key.
Well, what are we waiting for?
As he spoke, he shoved the door the rest of the way open. They rushed through and stopped cold.
What?
The terrible scene before them made their blood run cold. Whoa! 3 people lay dead on the floor, covered in blood.
Why?
Junpei felt a cold sweat trickle down his spine. He couldn't breathe. His legs shook. His body felt cold, deathly cold. But his blood was boiling hot. He could feel his mind begin to fade. He couldn't think. He couldn't concentrate. His mind was blank.
What the hell? What the hell happened?
Seven's voice was weak and broken. He edged toward the bodies, his movements stiff.
Clover.
He bent down over Clover and pressed his fingers to her wrist.
Nothing. She's dead.
Suddenly, Lotus moved. Before he understood what was happening, her hand was in Junpei's vest pocket.
Hey, what are you doing?
He leapt back. Lotus looked up at him, terrified.
The key! Get me the sun key!
Why?
Why do you think? We have to get out of here before the murderer comes back!
The murderer?
The murderer. The murderer. Once again, Junpei looked at the dead bodies.
Santa, Clover, and Ace.
Guess who's missing?
3 people, 3 dead bodies. That means that the person who had killed them was...
$10 June.
No, it can't be true.
Give it to me!
Before Junpei could react, Lotus dove back into his pocket and came out with the key.
Let's go!
Without waiting for Seven or Junpei, she ran straight for the central staircase. They followed. Junpei shut his eyes and swallowed his emotions. Morning would have to wait. Soon they stood in front of the door.
Open!
Lotus shoved the sun key into the keyhole and twisted it hard. But
Why?
What happened?
Nothing. Nothing happened. I didn't feel it unlock.
Oh no. Is it the wrong key?
I don't know. Maybe.
Lotus sighed, defeated, and leaned against the doorknob. She felt a twist. A small gap appeared between the door and the frame.
It's open.
What the hell is this?
Wait, you mean the door was already unlocked?
Why?
How would I know that? Whatever, let's just go.
Lotus took a deep breath and slowly opened the door the rest of the way. They stepped inside. In front of them was another hallway. It stretched out toward the bow of the ship. They began to run. Faster and faster they ran, trying desperately to reach the end of the hallway. A few seconds later, they were there. In front of them stood a massive metal door. They were all breathing heavily as Junpei spoke.
What the hell is this door? I can't see anything that looks like a doorknob or switch or lever or card reader or anything. How the fuck are we supposed to open this?
We don't have a choice. We're gonna have to go back.
No, I'm not going back there. There is a murderer back there.
Not to mention, there's literally no doors we can open unless they've already been opened. There was more stark terror in Lotus's voice than authority. She was almost begging.
But I don't see any other doors.
As he spoke, Seven stepped toward the door in front of them as if to illustrate that it was the only door. Oh. I guess it was just automated.
No way.
It opened by itself.
It's an automatic door?
Look, guys, I've got a really bad feeling about all this. The other doors were already unlocked, and this one's automatic. We haven't seen anything like this before.
Bad feeling.
How could their situation possibly get worse? 3 people are already dead.
We've hit bottom. This can't get any worse. Shit!
Hey, Junpei!
They stepped through the door.
I can't take this anymore. No one can.
And whatever hope Junpei had managed to summon disappeared.
No. It's a lie. It's gotta be. This can't be real. No. It's impossible. If it's a dream, just wake up already. Someone please tell me it's all just a joke. I'm imagining things. Yep, that's it. This is all obviously a lie. It's a big, elaborate trick. An illusion or something. Or a dream. It's made up.
It wasn't real, right? June. No, the codenames meant nothing now.
Ah! Ah!
Connie!
Connie!
Junpei cried out and leapt through the door. Oh, Owen did not scream. He flew to her side, his heart like a stone in his chest.
Connie, hang on!
Junpei swept her up and shook her by the shoulder. She moaned, and her eyes fluttered open, but only barely.
Connie!
Jumpy?
Her face was pale, and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Junpei put his hand against the small of her back to hold her up. It felt warm and wet. He lifted his hand up. It was covered in blood.
Oh man, Connie, there's so much blood. What the hell happened to you? How did this happen?
It was all he could do not to break into tears.
Jumpy, I'm sorry.
Her voice was thin, a minuscule thread that was the only thing keeping her with him.
I might not make it.
No way I am going to let you die. I am going to save you, I promise.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much. for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy.
Oh, don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You just gotta hang on, all right, Connie? You... Ow, what can I do? Damn it!
They looked up from Connie, desperate for something. Anything.
What's that?
Then he saw it. A small submarine.
A submarine? What on earth is a submarine doing here?
No, that didn't matter. Nothing mattered except saving Connie. It was the only thing he wanted.
That's it!
Junpei turned his head back to look down at her.
Hang on, alright? There's a submarine over there. I'm gonna go see if it works.
No, don't go. Please, don't go. Please, just stay with me, okay? I want to be close to you, Jumpy. When
Connie.
Jumpy, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids? I've liked you for a long time, Junpei.
It's hard to do the dying voice because people that died kind of just die.
A really long time.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame.
Jumpy, do you remember how we hung out a lot when we were kids? We went to the pool and to the fair. Do you remember playing snowball at the school? They're all memories I'll never forget. All of those moments are treasures to me. But I also wanted to go to a lot of other places with you. A lot more. But that won't happen now.
No. I mean, yes. Yes, it will happen. We'll go all sorts of places, Connie. You hear me? I promise. We'll go wherever you want.
Really?
Yeah, really. I swear.
That makes me happy. Really happy.
She said it to herself over and over, a weak smile creasing her tired face.
Jumpy, I feel sleepy.
No, Connie, don't fall asleep.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much.
Her eyes were slowly closing. Junpei screamed even as he felt his throat go hoarse.
Connie! Connie! Connie!
Time passed. Junpei wept, curled around Connie's body. He cried and cried until he had no tears left. When the last tear fell, Junpei was no more. His body remained, but only as an empty shell. Somewhere he heard a bell ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. It rang 5 times, then faded.
5 o'clock.
Quietly, gently, softly, he set Kenny down on the floor. Slowly, Junpei stood. Only then did he realize Seven and Lotus had not followed him. Where had they gone? Slowly, he looked around the room. There was nothing. No sign that they had ever been there. It felt as though every part of Junpei's body was made of lead. Slowly, he made his way to the door he'd come through. As he approached it, it opened, sliding apart with a sound like grinding stone. Junpei passed through the gate and into the hallway. His heart rattled in his chest, an empty, lifeless thing. It had been so utterly broken that there was nothing left to feel. When he saw their bodies, he simply stared. It was a lake, a sea of blood. The body lays in it. There was no need to check. There was no breath left in them. His eyes lit on Lotus's wrist. Her bracelet. It was gone. He stared. It meant nothing to him. He didn't care anymore. He didn't care anymore. Junpei's body felt numb. A part of him knew the lump of lead in his chest had once been a heart. He couldn't quite remember what it had been for. Tears poured from his eyes in great streams. He wasn't sure why. He gave up trying to make them stop. He turned around, the door opened again, and slowly, numbly, he walked through. He kept walking. Why stop? An object set in motion. Simple inertia carried him forward. Eventually, he found himself in front of the submarine. His arm reached for the hatch. And then he was floating in water. His eyes stared down into it. He couldn't see the bottom. His back was hot. Dimly, he felt the blade of a knife in it. Who? One dead body behind door number 5. The body of the 9th man. Another lay in the shower room. The body of Snake. In the central staircase were 3 more. Ace, Santa, and Clever. Just outside the door were 2 corpses. Those of Seven and Lotus. And in this very room lay the body that had once been Cammy. And now, Junpei would join them. Who then had killed them all? Who? Junpei let out one last breath. Faintly, he felt the bubbles creep up the side of his face. His consciousness faded quickly, dissolving away into the cold, gentle lapping of the water. Game over. So there is actually an explanation for that. And there's a plot point I don't want to spoil, but once we get to it, once there are 2 plot points in fact that I think explain what happened here. So once we get to both of those, I will mention again what happened here in this ending, whatever it is called. Can I not skip? Oh, that's terrible. Alright. Well, since we can't skip this, let me just take a quick break right now while the titles keep going. And then we'll continue and essentially reload a save, make a different choice, and go from there to find another ending. So, we'll get back in a couple minutes. And we are back. We all die by Yellow Submarine. You've reached one ending. This game has multiple endings. In order to experience all the endings, you need to play through the game multiple times. Make sure to save your progress now to retain all information you've acquired. Yes. Alright, and this is where... So, the advantage of the Steam version, the remake version, is that we actually do get a flowchart. This is something that introduced in the next game of the series, and that was not in the original DS game, so you kind of had to remember the choices you had made and replay through them. Alright, so... I don't actually want to go down this round yet, I think. So instead... Yeah, let's just go straight here.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sound, right?
Oh, I wish I would skip through. Oh, this is still D. Explaining, blah 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 blah. You can go through.
6 can never be on the same team.
Who do I want to be with? I know that I don't want to be with Clover. I'm number 5. Five and 4 are usually gone, but... let's do 8.
Okay. Fine. Alright, I choose door 8.
Okay, 8 it is.
Yeah.
Alright then, that means June's gotta go through 7.
Huh? What?
June's face was blank and confused. Tenta muttered to himself and turned to Junpei.
Junpei, you figured it out, right? Can you explain it to her?
Okay, so, June, if we want all 6 of us to go through a door...
Junpei chose his words carefully. When Junpei finally finished, June looked as though she was about to cry.
Oh no! You're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for a long time.
Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials were preparing for her face. But he knew that if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but he swallowed, steeled his resolve, and did his best to smile.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
She didn't sound very hopeful. It was 7 and interjected.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, he laid his hands gently on her shoulder.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
June bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible nod.
Yes. Promise?
Her voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered a moment.
You guys are done, right?
He stretched and continued.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 7 and Clover can take 8. Any problems with that, Clover?
Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care.
Alright, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
At Santa's command, the group split and head for their respective doors. Santa, 7, and June walked towards door 7, while Clover, Lotus, and Junpei head for door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. Then, Lotus laid her hands against her chest and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then shall we go?
It's open.
A narrow hallway stretched out before them.
Okay. Hurry!
Lotus and Clover leapt through the door. The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators in the bracelets had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped. He looked to his left, toward door 7. Jin stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. He turned to look toward him. Their eyes met.
June.
Jumpy.
They nodded. Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds.
What the hell are you doing?
Then someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. He heard the sound of the number door slam shut behind him. Jesus, that was close! His bracelet gave a cold electronic beep.
81 seconds left. Hurry!
Lotus snapped at him and ran to the dead.
Ugh.
Junpei and Clover followed her as fast as they could. Alright, where are we? With a shaking hand, she wiped a few beads of sweat from her forehead. Clover, however, was calm. Aloof, perhaps.
Pointless.
She muttered to herself without emotion, and began to walk down the hallway, leaving behind a confused Junpei and Lotus. Lotus watched the girls receding back. Receding back with a mix of frustration and curiosity.
What an unpleasant girl. I bet she's not very popular with the boys.
I bet you're very popular with the boys. Her sarcasm seemed a little more biting than was perhaps necessary, but she sighed and stared after the young girl.
Maybe pairing these two together was a mistake. Too late now. I better catch up to them.
After taking a moment to catch his breath, Junpei followed.
Ah, it's a dead end.
The hallway made a number of turns before at last coming to a dead end.
There's a door on the left, though.
So it's not a dead end because there was a door. For a few minutes, they stood in front of the door examining it. Above the door was a plate with the word laboratory engraved on it.
A laboratory? Huh.
Oh, that doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't like the look of this place.
Me either. But there aren't any other doors. It's not like we have a lot of choices.
Junpei.
Huh?
Please, you first.
Junpei suspected her politeness was motivated by something other than respect.
Ugh, fine.
Junpei muttered to himself and pushed open the door, the iron door. His first steps inside were tentative and careful, but as he examined the room, it became clear that there was no imminent danger. Lotus followed him in, and Clover brought up the rear. The room they found themselves in was divided into two separate areas by a curved wall. A thick glass window built into that wall made it possible to see to the other side of the division.
You know, I think the window looks into another room.
Maybe it's for monitoring something.
Junpei walked to the window and looked through.
What the hell?
He wasn't sure what else to say. In the center of the room, shaped like a quarter circle, a mannequin lay on what looked like a medical exam table.
It looks so creepy.
Junpei jumped a little. He hadn't noticed Lotus come up next to him.
It's kind of like that doll is waiting for surgery.
This is a laboratory, right? I'd say it's more like it's waiting to be experimented on.
Ooh,
It's creepy either way. You don't think that thing's gonna suddenly sit up or something, do you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we press the wrong button, I don't know.
Stop it. Just thinking about it is terrifying.
She was gripping her arms, the knuckles on her hands wide.
Wait, where's Clover?
She was still standing near the entrance of the room. Her face had the appearance of calm, but it was drawn, somewhat sad.
What is she?
There was something almost pitiful about her. Junpei walked over to her, and as calmly as he could, spoke.
Are you okay?
Clover looked away.
What are you talking about?
What? I'm just worried about you. You've been real quiet.
What? I can't be quiet if I want to?
Well, I mean, of course you can. I just...
Okay then. If I can be quiet if I want, just leave me alone, okay?
Come on, you know I can't do that. We gotta work together.
Clover bit her lip and was silent for a moment, then suddenly...
You just don't get it!
Her cry took Junpei by surprise and he stumbled backward a few steps, alarmed.
My brother's not the kind of person who'd just leave me behind! Something happened to him! Something bad.
Yeah.
Junpei had nothing to say. Lotus, jolted from her mannequin nightmares by Clover's voice, turned toward them.
What happened?
Clover's eyes slipped to Lotus and back to Junpei.
Look, just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone.
Finished, she turned around. Before Junpei or Lotus could say anything, Clover had begun to walk quickly away.
Hey, wait, Clover, hold on! That way is...
I told you to leave me alone!
You might as well have been talking to a wall for all the notice she took of his cries. Not even slowing down, she made for a doorway cut in the wall in front of her. Without even slowing down, she passed through the doorway.
Clover, watch out above you!
Uh-oh. And without warning, an iron gate fell from the ceiling like a particularly sitting Clover in.
What the heck? What's going on here?
Clover grabbed hold of the iron bars and shook them as hard as she could.
Hang on, I'll get it open.
Oh, for crying out. You'll never do it on your own.
Junpei grabbed the bars and pulled. In a moment, Lotus joined him. The three of them pulled as hard as they could, but...
Damn it! It's not moving.
Wait! Are you gonna give up? Just like that?
No, I'm not giving up. This has got to be another one of Zero's puzzles.
If it is, then there's gotta be a way to open it.
Junpei nodded.
Just what I was thinking. Now all we gotta do is find it. Lotus and I can look around out here. Clover, you're gonna have to see if you can find anything in there.
Oh, yes, I'm on it.
Alright, escape room. I think this is why I like the series so much, is because it does a great balance between escape room and novel. This looks like a control for an electronic door lock. There's a red light on the display. It means it's locked. If we can get the light to turn green, then maybe we can get Clover back. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't know how we could use any of these. Well, I can say for sure that I do know how to use at least one of these things. Which one? The one on top. I think it's a power cable. The power cable, huh? I'll take that. A 3-prong one. American. This is a keyhole. This looks like a keyhole for the activation key. There are 2 levers here. Do you think they activate something? Well, why don't you move one? Alright, I'll give it a try. Nope. Doesn't look like anything's happening. The hands of the clock have stopped moving. The clock may stop as time goes on. No time to screw around. We need to figure out a way out of here. This monitor doesn't have a power cable. So, one end of this cable needs to be connected to a monitor. And the other end needs to plug in under the desk. Alright, let's just slip you in. Huh? Oh shoot, you can't use this. What's wrong? This cable has 3 prongs, but the second only has 2 holes. It's not gonna fit, what I'm saying. In other words, we're gonna need a plug to change the power cable up to one with 2 prongs. That's right. Alright. These sockets are a little larger than the ones on top. Let's see if anything's useful in here. And no, nothing. What about these? Ethanol? Alright. A whole bunch of steel lockers. And on the right, all have little red lights in them. Red lights, huh? Well, can't hurt to give these babies a try. Yep, just as I thought. Loctite, all 9 of them. I wonder if there's anything important in there. A window made of really thick glass. I don't even think a bullet could break it. It's a rack. There's a bunch of cables on it. Somebody cut the other stuff out of the cables. I can see the wires inside. I don't know what kind of table this is, but part of it is all black. There's a pen lying over here. I think someone probably used it to make the table black. Well, don't use the pen on one part of it. There's probably something underneath all that pen. Clover, do you think you can erase it? Yeah, sure. Oh, this is a permanent marker. Junpei, do you know how to erase ink from a permanent marker? Give me just a minute, Clover. I'll be right back. Is this like an examination table? There's a group of mannequin in here, guys. Hey, Clover, how are the power cables over there? Huh? What do you mean? Does the prog have 3 prongs or 2? I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go look. Guess she does have to kind of crouch down to get a look on it there. Good blow on the monitor as, it's got 2 of those little metal things. What does that mean? That's it! Okay, can you unplug that cable and bring it over here? Okay, but... What? Well, I can unplug it, but it's connected to the main computer. I can't take it over to you. Damn it, that's no good then. Well, how about just a plug? What? A plug? Well, maybe more like a, connector? It's the sort of thing that makes the plug with 3 metal thingies into a plug with 2 metal thingies. Still useless? Not useless! Not useless at all! It's just what we were looking for. Okay. Can you hold on for a little bit? And back down she goes. Alright. Unplugged. I'll hand it to you over at the bars, okay? They're cardboard boxes. There are some papers and stuff in them. What's in the boxes? They look quite full. Experiments, but it's real technical and stuff. I don't really get it. Alright, yeah, I don't think there's anything else for us here. Clover, use this Adenol. You should be able to wipe off the permanent ink with it. What am I gonna wipe it with? Oh, well, your clothes, of course. Haha, kidding, just kidding. Please don't look at me like that, you're scaring me. Anyway, could you wipe off the permanent ink? Look, Clover, right now at this moment, you're the only person we can depend on. I'm trusting you with this. You trust me? I feel kind of special. Hey, Clover! And she's just wandering around the table. I don't think she even knows we're calling her. Is there a wipe somewhere that I'm not seeing? I wonder what this is. This thing here looks like a voltmeter. Voltmeter. There we go. And is this the control for that? Gosh, there's so many dials. Why don't you try turning one of them? Nope, nothing. There's no power here, guys. I turned the dial a whole bunch, but even if I turn all the switches on, nothing happens. Oh, use the cloth on the table, yeah, you just had to click on it. Soak it in ethanol, then use it to wash off all the stuff from the permanent marker, okay? Right, okay, so I gotta soak the cloth with ethanol. Well, she's got the cloth, but she seems to be having a little trouble with the bottle of ethanol. When she's ready, I should ask her to get to work on that stuff on the table. Soak the cloth. Wipe it off. Junpei, it's working! It's wiping the permanent ink off. Huh? There's some kind of weird drawing under all the permanent ink. What's the deal with that drawing Clover found? Maybe I should ask her to take another look at the table. I wonder what this is. There are a bunch of numbers and some kind of grid. I can't see it from here. Clover, you've got a pen and a notebook, right? Could you write those numbers down and then hand them to me through the bars? Okay. Roger. Here, Junpei. I wrote down the numbers from the desk on here. Temporary numbers on it acquired. Okay. We need to No. Okay, that's clearly the lockers. Bottom right, top left, middle. Alright, and let's combine these and use them on the computer. Alright, that ought to do it. Alright, let's turn the power on. I don't think anything's going to happen. Why not? Well, it's not connected to the main computer. You never know until you try. Well, I guess she was right. Junpei pushed the button on the front of the monitor.
Oh, that worked.
For a soft hum, it turned on. Streams of letter that made no sense to Junpei began to sprawl across the screen.
What?
He had hoped it would turn on, but he hadn't expected this.
Huh? It's running on its own?
It certainly looks like it.
Isn't that kinda weird?
What?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right? There's just this keyboard and monitor.
Have you never seen a MacBook, man? Like, really?
The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in. So, why is it working?
Maybe it's a wireless display.
Clearly, this was a reasonable explanation to Lotus.
A wireless display?
What is the sorcery?
Yes, it connects to your computer wirelessly, hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
You most certainly had not, but...
Is that normal?
Yes, at least where I worked.
Oh.
Oh, it stopped.
Pass with a colon.
Looks like we need to enter a password.
Again? There must be a hint around here somewhere.
Could you go take a look?
Yeah, I'm on it. What are you going to do?
I'll see if I can do something about this on my own.
On your own?
Yep, on my own.
Lotus?
Lotus pulled over the nearest chair and dropped herself down onto it in front of the keyboard. For a second, she stared at the screen. She kneaded her hands, knuckles popping, and twisted her back left and right.
All right.
Oh boy, this...
Let's kick some ass.
Oh. This is a choice of drawing. Lotus smiled to herself and rubbed her hands together in anticipation. Then before Junpei had time to blink, she was typing at an incredible speed. The click-clack of the keys running together like machine gun fire.
Wait, what?
Junpei was, for once, at a loss for words.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Of course I didn't! You're typing so fast, I can't even see your fingers. What kind of job do you have? What are you?
I'm unemployed at the moment. I used to work for a cybersecurity firm, but
Why?
Lotus blinked.
Huh? Oh, it was just... something.
She stopped typing for a moment and her face fell.
I see.
This was not an avenue of questioning to be pursued, Junpei realized, and quickly shut off his mouth. Lotus's fingers began to move again, and in a few seconds she was back up to speed. As she typed, more letters and symbols that meant nothing to Junpei began to pour across the screen.
Oh, what are you doing now?
I'm going to try and brute force it.
Brute what?
A brute force attack is... well, the short version is that I just attacked the thing head on.
Whether looking up or slowing down, she began to explain.
A brute force attack is one of the simplest ways to break a cipher. It checks every possible combination until it finds the right one. For a complex cipher, it can take a very long time. I'm writing a program that would run an attack like that on its own. It's not the most elegant solution, certainly. But given the circumstances, there isn't much else I can do.
Even as she talked, her fingers never slowed or missed a key. Junpei couldn't help but feel a little odd.
Oh, but back to what we were talking about earlier.
What were we talking about?
The wireless display? It's kind of strange if you think about it, isn't it? How do I put it? Well, let's say you write a program that calculates an addition problem for you, all right? So you enter 1 + 1. The screen will show you 2. See? Isn't that strange?
No? Not really.
Oh, come on now. Of course a caveman like you would think it was strange. You said so just a minute ago. You're just not getting it, are you? Who calculated 1 + 1?
The main computer, right? You said it connected to the monitor wirelessly.
Yeah, but someone who grew up in a cave wouldn't know that, right? They'd probably think that this thing here, the monitor, is doing the calculating. And once they've decided that, they'll start examining this monitor. They might poke the screen or something. Ah, I see the color changes when I press it here. Then they might investigate the hardware on the inside. Oh, I see. So this wire supplies the power. Eventually, they might even cut the wires. Ah, yes. Just as I expected. When this wire is cut, no results appear. Therefore, it must be this device which does the calculations.
Oh.
But the truth is that, just like you said, the computer is doing the calculating. But these cave people wouldn't know that, because they have no idea that the monitor and the computer are connected wirelessly.
I don't know, it seems to me a bit of a stretch that, you know, if they're poking around, they wouldn't eventually... You don't just poke around the inside of the monitor, right, and be like, oh, that's how this works, but... Let us continue to type. Junpei scratched his head.
So, what are you trying to say?
Nothing, really. It's just, I thought maybe. What if the relationship between human beings and our brains is like that?
Huh?
Well, let's say you stick a bunch of electrodes into parts of the brain. A scientist examining the signals they send out might say, interesting. So stimulating this part of the brain causes the person to see colors. That must mean this neuron cluster controls that function. Okay, let's see what happens when I cut out this part. Ah, just what I thought. Cutting off this part causes that function to cease. Therefore, human thought processes must occur in the human brain. See? Doesn't it sound the same? Maybe the brain is just an output device, like this monitor. Maybe our thought processes actually occur somewhere else, in a main body. We just don't know it. We never even think about it. Just like those cave people wouldn't know about wireless communications. We can't imagine that there's some unknown medium that transfers information into our brains, where we experience that information as thoughts.
Junpei didn't say anything. Not so much because he had no retort. No, her argument just seemed silly, and he was a little surprised to be hearing something like that from someone like her.
The brain is just an output device. Human thought actually occurs somewhere else? That's just crazy talk.
Did Lotus really think that, he wondered? It was a little creepy, Junpei thought. It sounded altogether too much like a bizarre cultish religion.
Maybe that's the cause of Seven's amnesia.
Oblivious to Junpei's increasing discomfort, Lotus continued.
If memory is actually stored somewhere else, in some sort of main body somewhere, maybe he hasn't forgotten anything at all. He's just having a difficult time accessing his memories because the monitor, his brain, has been damaged.
Huh.
I suppose that would explain aphasia and blindsight, too.
Sure.
Perhaps they actually can speak or see. The monitor just isn't functioning properly. I guess people with prosopagnosia could be suffering from the same thing.
Wait a minute. What?
He knew what aphasia was from watching medical dramas on TV, and blindsight was easy enough to guess, but never heard the word prosopagnosia before.
What? You've never heard of prosopagnosia?
I have a feeling we're gonna get the, Chekhov's prosopagnosia. Lotus spun around in her chair to look at it. Junpei just shrugged and shook his head.
No. What is it?
Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. In other words, my face would look the same as Clover's or even yours. So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they're close to. Usually they can make do by associating people with other things. Their voices, their clothes, their hair.
Does that mean other people's faces look like blanks?
No, I don't think so. Well, you've seen monkeys, like in a zoo, right? To you and me, all the monkey faces look the same. Even though they've obviously got faces, it's almost impossible for a human to distinguish between them. The zoo staff that works with them would learn to identify different monkeys eventually, but you or I couldn't unless one had a scar or something else to set it apart. Well, that's how people would be to someone with prosopagnosia.
Prosopagnosia. Huh. I didn't even know that kind of thing existed.
Junpei did his best to act as though the entire lecture hadn't gone entirely over his head.
And, what were we talking about?
The idea that your brain is just an output device, like a monitor.
Are you serious about that stuff?
Not really. I was just kidding for about half of it.
What about the other half?
Well, I guess I was just adulting.
Not
Notice a smile at something red or messy to stick to it.
It's nothing more than a story I made up out of boredom. Don't take it seriously. It was the first thing that came to mind, and I just talked about it to kill time. But looks like I don't need to talk anymore.
Why?
I don't have to kill time any longer.
As she spoke, Lotus raised her right arm high and brought it down on the Enter key.
Oh, then you finished that brute whatever thing?
I certainly did. And let's see what we got.
Chunks of text flickered on and off in quick succession, then a lot of numbers appeared, blinked, and disappeared. The screen cleared, and all that was left was the word accepted.
Piece of cake.
Lotus would clearly have patted herself on the back if it would not have made her look entirely ridiculous. After a few seconds, the acceptance disappeared to be replaced with 9 squares arranged in a 3x3 square.
The screen changed again. What the hell is that?
No idea. Looks like a puzzle.
Suddenly, Lotus stood up.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
No, I can't do anymore. It won't let me do any more programming. See? The keyboard. Nothing. So, there's nothing more I can do. Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
What?
Let me take a break, all right? I did my part.
Well...
He wasn't sure what to say to that. She only had done her part. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. They shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to himself.
I guess you're right. Thanks, Lotus.
No problem. And make sure you know when you should thank people.
Now, I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.
Junpei crossed his arms and stared at the puzzle shown on the screen, for which we totally already have a solution. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy. Alright, I solved it. Did you hear a noise just now? Yeah, it did. It sounded like something unlocking. Where did it come from? Look, Junpei! The lights on the lockers are green! They must have unlocked it with the computer puzzle. There's more than one key in here. This one is small, it looks like it goes with some sort of machine. And this one has the Earth symbol on it. I think the Earth symbol matches the keyhole in the door on the A deck. Well, if that's the case, you probably don't need the Earth key right now. Alright then, Earth key. I'll just tuck it away deep in my pocket. And as for the other key... It was just at that moment that he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
He put the puzzle aside for a moment and walked over to Clover.
What's up?
I wanted to ask you something. Junpei, you went into door 5 with my brother, right? Did you hear him say, like, anything weird?
Huh?
Why is she asking me this, Junpei wondered. The more he thought about it, however, the more it made sense. Nick had been gone for a long time. Clover was quite attached to her brother. Of course she would have been worried about him.
Well, let me think.
He thought back to when he'd gone through door 5, hoping he might remember something, even a small something, that would help her. However...
Sorry, Clover. I can't really think of anything. I mean, he did mention that his hearing exceeds that of a regular person, or something like that, but that's about it.
Okay.
Clover's words were barely audible. She nodded vaguely to Junpei and turned to walk away.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hmm?
Look, I don't know if I should ask you things, but if you don't mind, I was hoping you could tell me if, is Snake, was he born...
You're talking about his eyes?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't born blind. When he was a kid, he got in an accident. A really bad car accident. He couldn't see after that. And his arm.
His arm?
Yeah. My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm.
This is an extremely important point, because you'll remember that the body we found in the shower had bones jutting out of its left arm, or at least you would remember it if you watched the last part. So that means the body in the shower is not Snake. Oh, I didn't mean to return to the title screen, sorry, I do want to finish the escape room.
Hey, wait.
Hmm?
Look, I don't know if you don't... Is Snake...
Yeah, skip
no,
over
when
that.
He got really bad, he couldn't, and...
Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah,
my
blah, 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 blah.
The accident hurt him really bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm.
Oh.
Is that all you wanted to ask me?
Talking about her brother had clearly taken a great deal out of Clover. Junpei nodded.
Look, I'm sorry for making you talk about all that painful stuff.
It's not that.
Clover only shook her head and walked off downstairs. Alright, activation key. This key. The shape sure makes it seem like a ghost of this machine. Alright, I'm turning it on. Okay, the monitor is on now, and it's full of letters. It's showing some kind of warning. Power restored to experimental device. Emergency system will activate in the event of abnormal subject behavior. Okay. There's something sticking out of the mannequin's head, like wires or something. What the hell were they doing in here? Huh? Why is she all quiet now? We're doing experiments on humans. Probably. Oh man, now she looks sad. Junpei, this thing in here is on now. Yeah, it's because we activated the power over on this side. Could you, like, play with it a little? Okay. Yeah. I'll turn this dial here. Turn. I don't think it's working. Nothing happened. Well, maybe she missed something. I should ask her to look around the room again. It's a rack. There are some cables with copper wire exposed. This is a monitor. There are a whole lot of cables under the table. I wonder what they washed here. There are these weird colored stains all over the sink. There's scribblings from the table. There's a mannequin. Maybe if you increase the voltage? Roger. Will do. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to max voltage. Max voltage? Hey, wait, Clever! Ah, shit. What? I think, oh my god! The mannequin's head! Oh man, it sounds like a fire alarm. God, what the hell? Fire detected. Fire detected. The emergency system will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately. Hey! Junpei, look at the light. Yes, it's green. The emergency system is activated and disabled the lock. Now we can save Clover. Junpei! Come on, kid, jump. She's safe. Oh man, that's smoking some serious business. Have to close this door again, I think. Clever, are you okay? Are you hurt? Cough, cough. Damn, she's coughing so hard she can't even talk. Of course I'm not alright. What the hell took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead. Sorry, I was going as fast as I could. You can do this later. Right now we need to get the hell out of here. That fire's not going to stay in the room forever. Alright, and I think this is where we will end it for today. You know, we made some good progress, right? We've got to the end of one of the branches. We're now exploring some of the other branches to eventually get to the best ending. We're gonna take us a few more streams to get there, like probably 3 to 4 would be my guess. No, maybe more than that. There's a lot of reading and a lot of novel to get through, but really enjoying it. I just love in these games how the escape rooms and the novels kind of alternate each other in a very practical way. So I really enjoy playing through it, and I hope you enjoy watching me playing through it too. You can find me on twitch.tv/gameswithnick. The next official stream will be on Sunday morning, where we will continue starting a new playthrough for a series that we've been going down for a while. And then Monday afternoons, we usually play some Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. And then Wednesday afternoons, we have point-and-click adventure afternoons, where we will start a new game on Wednesday. I'm like 90% sure it's going to be Monkey Island 2, but, you know, we'll see. I also have bonus streams every once in a while. If you're watching this live or catching it after it just went live, I might be doing some streaming either tomorrow evening or sometime on Saturday. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to click the follow button, click the bell, let me know, so that you get notified when I go live. All my VODs are live on youtube.com/gameswithnick as well. They go live usually about a week after the stream, so feel free to check those out. Like, subscribe, leave comments. I appreciate you watching my stuff, taking the time to engage with me. It really gets me going, so thank you so much for that. And yeah, that's gonna be our stream for today, so thank you for watching, and until next time.